This is the Candid Minicast. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Full disclosure here. This minicast may end up creeping more into the rant territory for a bit, so I'm hoping you can bear with me here. Because as usual, I will make some legit points, but I still got to get a few things off my chest too. I'll jump right into it. Some of you Second Amendment loving gun nuts need to sit down and shut the hell up, because your weakness, buffoonery, and flat out clownish behavior is driving me and plenty of others absolutely insane. Now, before I go any further, if you haven't listened to any of my other podcasts or minicasts, I'm a conservative man who is all about that Second Amendment and citizens' right to legally bear arms. So don't get it twisted. I have no issues with the Second Amendment or firearms at all. With that being said, a lot of you clowns out there are starting to make me wonder if we need more comprehensive background checks, mental health checks, firearms training, or hell, even making people take a damn college course about guns, gun laws, and how to go about your daily life when you're in the possession of one. Because a lot of you ignorant idiots out there probably need it. Every day I see more and more people in real life, as well as posting on Facebook, that are starting to make me more than a bit worried and concerned about who in the blue hell we're just freely handing out firearms to. And I'm going to give you a few examples of why I feel that way, and then explain why it's got me so damn fired up and angry. Let's start out with who I call the advertiser. You guys are the goofy idiots that drive around in your lifted pickup trucks behaving like aggressive, puffed up D-bags. You're always the ones who are cutting people off, riding people's asses, and just generally thinking you own the whole ass road. One look at the back window of your trucks, and we can all understand why. Not only do you have a big ass oversized truck, so you somehow think that makes you better than everyone else, but you also have 135 stickers in your back window of every damn gun manufacturer known to man, and you're always the first people that want to let someone know that you have a closet full of guns at home and that you're not afraid to use them any chance that you get. And if that's not enough for you, you're also the buffoons that I've talked about in a previous podcast that have your little advertisement from when I'm not in the car shirts on that say some goofy crap like "stay strapped or get clapped." You just can't bear to go a single second of your life without letting everyone around you know that you got guns and that you think you ain't afraid to use them, or that you're about that life. And it makes you look unhinged, weak, and quite pathetic, to be honest with you. Again, I have zero issues with people owning and liking guns. It's just the people who behave and carry themselves like this that are starting to worry me about who exactly we're letting carry these guns. Anyone who can't go a single damn second of their lives without having to warn people about what will happen if they cross this person probably needs to put the firearms down and go get a damn hug, with a whole lot of mental health sprinkled in with it. Another good example of the advertiser, it was some bald head, goofy looking white guy who was a medic or something like that, standing there posing in his Facebook picture with a gun. Again, why? Who are the idiots that we're putting these guns into the hands of? I've seen my fair share of other profiles like this, and the logic behind it makes absolutely zero sense to me. What exactly are you trying to prove? You act like getting a firearm is some kind of major accomplishment or akin to winning some kind of special award. You literally didn't do anything special to get that firearm other than pass a simple background check and prove that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. So go sit your dumb ass down somewhere. Or better yet, stop being a simpleton on Facebook, go down to the local range and actually practice shooting the damn thing instead of posing and flexing on Facebook like some kind of idiot. It literally reminds me of a teenager who finally sees an uncovered pair of boobs for the first time, and he has to go around bragging to all his friends about it. Plenty of men before you and plenty of men after you have seen and will see uncovered pairs of boobs. So, yay for you, but you're not really doing anything special, my guy. And as I said a few minutes ago, I have one major point for why everything I speak on in this minicast angers me. But with these two examples I just shared, I have a second point that adds to my pissed offtivity, and that's an actual word. But it's something that can actually help these advertiser idiots out in the future. If you actually talk to a sane and knowledgeable firearms instructor, specifically ones who specialize in teaching CPL classes, one of the main things they will tell you is that doing all this advertising is a stupid ass idea. Why, you ask? Because God forbid you actually have to use your firearm to defend yourself. No matter if you were completely justified or not, if the prosecutor decides to charge you with a crime, they're going to have pictures of all those 135 gun stickers on the back of your truck, and they're going to scrub all your social medias and find all those pictures of your dumbass holding a gun, and they're going to try to use that against you to prove that you are a reckless, amped up gun nut just looking for a reason to use your firearm to plug someone. Now, whether or not a prosecutor is right or wrong for doing something like this is completely irrelevant. They can, and they will, especially if they really want to find a reason to try you and attempt to get a conviction. And the fact of the matter is that you helped aid in their case, all because your dumbass couldn't hold your damn water and toned down on advertising to the entire world that you own a firearm. And to be fair, some of these behaviors and actions actually do make you look unhinged, and maybe you really shouldn't be owning a damn firearm in the first place. Either way, bottom line is that not everything you have /own /possess /do /believe needs to be broadcast to the entire population. And now I'm going to talk about the most common 2A idiot that I see out there, and that's the quick shooter or the John Wayne. You lowlifes are even more of a problem than the advertiser, because you dumbasses are quick to want to pull the damn trigger, but rarely seem to know the law around when you can shoot and when you can't. Every single situation that arises in life that brings even a little bit of tension is always solvable in your eyes by pulling out your sidearm and blasting away like a stormtrooper. And you probably have the accuracy of one as well. If you know, you know. Anyway, let me give you a great example of what I mean here. I recently saw a Facebook video showing a doorbell camera exchange between two neighbors. A mid-40s white female who was legit giving off Karen vibes was aggressively ringing her neighbor's doorbell multiple times in succession, clearly because she was angry about something. When the neighbor inside the house responded through the doorbell speaker, what basically ensued is the angry neighbor wanting the woman inside to come to the door and talk, while the woman inside the house repeatedly refused to come outside. The angry Karen did continue to repeatedly ring the doorbell during this exchange, but eventually an actual conversation happened through the doorbell cam. And basically the issue was that the Karen woman was upset because her neighbor's cat kept getting into her yard inside her house and was basically allowed to run wild. And it was a problem because the Karen had a son who was very allergic to cats. Now, even though this woman's behavior was pretty Karen-ish, if this story was true, she kind of did have a valid reason to be upset about the neighbor's cat roaming into her yard where her son was playing, especially if he was allergic to cats. Now, if the cat was getting into the Karen's actual house, then that's something that the Karen needs to address on her end, because that shouldn't be happening at all. Regardless, the woman inside the house kept denying responsibility, so the Karen said she'd get the police involved, which is something I find ironic, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And eventually the situation ended there. When I finished watching the video and scrolled down to the comments on Facebook to see what people were saying about the encounter, it blew my mind. But then again, it probably shouldn't. Tons of reckless, idiotic, and trigger-happy 2A gun nut idiots were making comments that the Karen, quote, would have been staring down the barrel of their .357, or saying things like, pew pew, and the situation is over. And of course, you had a bunch of other follower idiots celebrating these comments. Now, you did have a few people come in there and comment and say things like, good luck with your prison sentence. So there actually are a few people out there who still have a little bit of common sense left. Still, it's scary to see how many buffoons out there don't even know what the damn laws are and how quick you are to get a firearm involved in even the most minor of situations. Unless that Karen was trying to break the door down to the home and enter the property, you as a homeowner have zero right to open the door, pull out a firearm, and plug someone over something as stupid as that. You ask the woman to leave. If she refuses to leave, then you do the right thing, which is actually what the horrible Karen suggested, and you call the damn police. You don't open your door and go all Clint Eastwood on someone standing on your porch unless you want to catch a damn case. Regardless of the way you may feel about how the Karen handled this situation, she did not deserve to be sent to meet her maker over something fairly minor like this. But apparently the Red Dead Redemption crew in the comments disagrees and instead thinks that reenacting a shootout at the old OK Corral is a better idea instead. Now, I do understand that there are a lot of fake capping ass wannabes in Facebook comments, so I did factor that in as well. But we have seen many cases in recent years where people have lost their lives to a gun because they literally rang the wrong doorbell or even pulled up in the wrong driveway. So while not everyone claiming to be about that life would actually pull the trigger, there are plenty of unhinged, lawless, irresponsible gun owners out there who actually would. And that's a very big problem. And yet another reason why I'm starting to have some concerns with who the hell we're allowing to own guns, or if we're allowing people to own them without enough checks and balances being in place before we just hand a widowmaker over to someone. And now that I'm done with my examples, I'll tell you why I'm so angry about all of this. First off, there's of course the obvious blatant disrespect for human life and the concern of people being a danger to the public overall. Again, I have zero issues with someone using a firearm to justifiably defend themselves in a situation where the law deems it appropriate. But some of you idiot, scary ass clowns out there want to start popping off caps at people over the most minor and stupid of things. Instead of learning the laws or fixing your own insecurities, you instead want to make innocent people pay with their lives because you're some angry, aggressive D-bag or some scary ass idiot that shats their pants every single time someone goes boo. Some of you out there have zero business owning weapons, and I'm starting to feel like we need to make the process of acquiring a firearm a bit more rigorous. My other major point to all of this is that pro-2A people are already under attack by the liberal left and organizations like the good old ATF, where they're trying to get guns out of everyone's hands, and they don't want anyone owning firearms at all, even if you are competent enough to possess one. So just like in the example I gave earlier of a prosecutor using online posts, pictures, car stickers, etc. against self-defense shooters, the Dems will use things like the comments on a Facebook video and idiots plugging people for ringing the wrong doorbell as ammunition, pun intended, for why firearms need to be severely restricted or even banned altogether. And while I have stated that I'd like a bit more checks and balances on gun ownership, I don't want to see competent people prevented from owning them, nor do I want to see an increase of these BS ATF raids on people's homes that seem to keep ending in tragedy. It only takes a few idiots to come around and start screwing things up for everyone else, and that's exactly what some of you weak-minded tools are doing in this situation. As I said before, there's nothing wrong at all with being a proud gun owner and being a proponent of the Second Amendment, because I'm all about that as well, and I stand with you on that. But that also doesn't mean you have to go around being reckless buttholes about it in your personal lives. You're going to end up not only screwing things up for yourself, possibly very badly, but for everyone else that supports the 2A as well. Some of y'all need to take an expensive shopping trip down aisle common sense, sit down, shut the hell up, and learn how to hold your damn water. It's sad that I have to say this to a bunch of adults, but firearms are not a toy, so stop LARPing around with them and maybe go purchase yourself a nice medieval suit of armor, a wooden sword, and hit up a local Renaissance festival instead. As always, if you're listening in on YouTube, I appreciate a like, a subscribe, or you leaving a comment. I'm continuing to try to bring you great content, and I hope that you enjoy the kind of podcast that I'm bringing to you. Thanks for listening in. I will catch you on the next one.